Why have you been thinking about starting an Airbnb business for the last 2 years? Okay, you've been stuck in a content loop and you haven't made any action, you haven't taken that first step. We're going to get into it and how you can actually start this month, okay? So every video you watch promises clarity, but most of it adds confusion. You're overloading yourself with content here, okay? More research does not mean you're going to progress, okay? It doesn't mean you're going to make that first step. You're stuck in a loop, okay? You're watching YouTube videos, feeling like there's progress being made, learning. You're saving reels about pricing, doing the research, trying to build it all up in your head. You're joining the right Facebook groups, feel like you're joining a community, watch podcasts, and you started doing some research, okay? And it feels like a start, but you still have no properties, you still done zero calls, and you haven't actually started to put into that serious work about building the brand, registering, properly reaching out, okay? And you can be stuck in this loop for years and years and years, and it's not actually going to mean, even though all these things you're doing here, YouTube videos, reels, Facebook groups, research, it's all great, but it's not as good as starting. I'd rather people not have overloaded themselves with content and actually started making that first step. And people have done research on this paradox, and they've showed that more options actually creates more paralysis. And this is really applied to when starting a business. Every new video introduces a new variable, new consideration, and a new reason to wait. So the psychological pattern is simple. Consumption feels safe, action feels exposed. Your brain is optimized for emotional safety and not progress, okay? Research without execution is just procrastination dressed up. You're not making that progress. So this video, I want to encourage you to make that progress. I'll start when I know enough. It's a trick your brain plays on you, okay? Perfect readiness is a moving target. It doesn't exist. So this is where you currently are right now. You're in this loop. You're going around YouTube video, research, looking into different details, thinking, starting a start date. Doing all this is still zero. You've done nothing, okay? You're not achieved anything. Maybe you're watching videos about selecting a city, videos about contracts, reading about pricing, research, 90-day explainers, etc., moving target, and there's no such thing as being ready. So if it's not knowledge that's missing, what is? And what is missing is you don't lack information, you lack a moment of commitment. So I just want you to reframe exactly where you are in your head. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't going to be fulfilled by another video. It's going to be fulfilled by the decision. You don't need to learn more. You need to decide that you're going to start, okay? Now, what did I know when I started? Maybe I made my first move with 5% of what I know now. I didn't know about dynamic pricing tools, didn't know about polished scripts, never heard about any of these tools. I learned it as I went along. Now, luckily, you've got me here, so you don't need to be learning and making the mistakes I did at the start. But you need a solid roadmap, okay? I had a city, I had a rough plan, and I just had a decision, and I just got going. And that's the honest truth here, guys. You already know enough to make your first call. You already know what rental arbitrage is. You know what city you're planning on doing. You know all this information. So stop searching for missing knowledge and accept the rest is going to come from actually getting started and doing things. So this is what I want you to do this week instead of just researching. If you haven't already, I want you to pick your city. Examples: Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, Leeds, Sheffield, somewhere close to you, and just pick one, and you need to nail down on that. That's where I'm going to start. And then I want you, after you've done that, to pull up 30 listing, long let, 1 to 2 bed flats, bills aren't going to be included, city centre, and don't inquire yet, just build a shortlist. And then from that, write an opening 30 seconds or pull up the host handbook, use our free evaluation tool if you're involved. From that, I want you to send 20 messages, WhatsApp, email, portal inquiries, keep it short, 20 messages, okay? Maybe that's gonna get you 3 or 5 responses. And then from that, I want you to take calls, book viewings, and let's begin. this isn't a 6-month plan. This isn't more research. This is actually starting that business and building stuff. So this is what I want you to do in the next 7 days. The gap between knowing the plan and executing the plan, guys, right? Now I've given you a 7-day plan of what I want to see you do. Most people won't execute it. Nothing is holding you to it. The call on the day 4 gets pushed to next week, next month, next 2 years, okay? The research shows that every single relevant predicator of follow through is telling another person what you'll do, when you'll do it. Accountability converts intentionally into action. So I've given you the plan here. You need to cross that bridge of accountability and execute. So what I want you to do, guys, is tell someone that by Friday, you are going to do what I've told you to do in the first 7 days, and they can hold you to it, okay? And that sentence is going to launch more first properties than watching another YouTube video. So stop being someone who's thinking about starting an Airbnb and be someone who's starting an Airbnb. Don't be a watcher, be an operator, okay? Don't be seeing the listings thinking, I wonder if I could have done that, if it could work, I'm not ready yet. I don't want you to have regret, guys. I don't want you to look back and think, oh, I really should have done this. I want you to be looking at the listings, seeing what yields, seeing my calls, taking calls, getting better, getting that practice in, okay? What someone else done, I can replicate that. I know how to do things like that. I'm better on the computer, I'm better on technical, I'm better with in-person. Maybe you work behind a bar, you build them social skills, you're good at interacting with people. You need to apply that. So the first call is going to be the unlock, okay? The first call is going to change you. The first landlord, even if they say no, you're going to get that hunger and you'll be like, right, I want to convert someone to, yes, I can do this. I've seen what I did wrong in that call. Maybe you recorded the call. So if your own personal use that you can listen back to and be like, I should have said this there, that there, and you can improve, okay? And that one call, take the next call and expand it until you get someone that's going to say yes, and stop that loop of constant consumption of content. I know it's very easy to, get your phone out, go on TikTok and scroll. We all do it. But if you're going to start a business and be an entrepreneur, you just can't be doing that. So if you've been thinking for the last 2 years about starting that Airbnb, what do I want you to do? Well, I'm going to go back to it right now. So what do I want you to do? I want you to pick your city. I want you to pull 30 listings. You know the platforms, OpenRent, Rightmove, Gumtree. I want you to write an opening 30-second script of what you're going to say to them. If you're part of my course or have access to our tools, use the valuation report that you can give them, because that's a big way of converting them. Send them messages out and start taking calls and get viewings, and let's start, guys, okay? So I hope I've encouraged you. If you're stuck, drop stuck in the comments. I'll reach out to you and we can get you moving. Subscribe, hit the bell for the next video, leave comments about what you want me to make more videos on, because I can cover loads of different topics. And I've got a free course, School Community, the Host Handbook, that you can join, link in the bio. And obviously I do work one-to-one with people and set up the whole system with you, and we get you moving. So I hope you enjoyed the video, learned stuff, and this main idea behind this video, guys, is that I want to encourage you and give you that extra push to get started.